Hello, I thought you might like to join me for a cup of tea and an interesting story. It's not even a story, it's a real event. It happened in a little bit of a follow-up to the one that I did about when I broke my leg and how it came to be that I broke my leg. And because I had not listened to God, he had distinctly warned me. So if you haven't caught that video, it's somewhere back there in the channel if you want to go dig it out. But this happened even before the broken leg. I used to be an avid mountain biker, believe it or not. Clearly I haven't done that in a while. And I used to enjoy going along one of the main roads near where I live. As I always used to do, and still do whenever I leave the house, because South Africa is quite a dangerous place and there's a lot of crime and people on the roads drive like absolutely crazy loony people. I would always pray for God to accompany me, be with me, protect me, send his angels to watch over me and surround me. So this afternoon, as I was setting out on my training ride, I did the same thing. I stopped just outside the gate and I prayed and I said, Lord, please, be with me, protect me, keep me safe, because there's a lot of incidents on our roads. We have high accident rates and things. And off I went, not worried, not concerned, and went for quite a nice ride wherever it was. And on my way back, I was coming along a main road. Now, ironically, the site of this issue or incident is literally a few hundred meters from where I lay in the ditch with a broken leg. It's on that same main road. Sorry, the dogs are now about to interfere because he wants to have a sip of the tea. Move, dog. And he's going to bump the tripod. So I was whizzing back along the main road, which is quite a busy road. It's a double lane in both directions. And there's a massive intersection, a very wide intersection, with another double lane on both sides coming into that intersection. So it's a three-way, it's a T-junction. And I'm flying along, and because I can see that the robot is green, and I don't want to get caught midway across the intersection, I really started cranking up the speed on my bicycle. I was really fit and, pretty decent mountain biker, so I was really hauling it to get across this interchange before the lights changed. And the weird thing is, and it's going to be a bit hard to explain, I hope it'll come across. Try picture this, okay? So as you come across the intersection, you've passed 4 lanes of traffic. And just on the other side is a yellow line, because we have big, broad yellow lines for emergency purposes on all of these roads, understandably. But the interesting thing about just on the other side of this intersection is that the wide lane, the yellow lane, is there, but for some bizarre reason, it kind of tapers inward for about 20 meters. It's normal, but it's gradually tapering in with the barrier, the reinforced barrier, kind of forcing the lane to basically diminish. And I can see up ahead that I'm almost going to have to ride exactly into the lane of the cars because there's just no space. The barrier literally cuts right up to the edge of the lane. So I'm hauling across this intersection, and out of the corner of my eye, I kind of notice something coming, just sort of a movement, and I just hear this bop, bop, that deep, heavy truck horn type hooter. And I know immediately what's going on because everything seemed to slow down like the Matrix, it just slowed down. You have that, it's surreal. It's like everything goes into slow motion and yet it's happening so quickly. And I immediately knew that there's this massive 18-wheeler truck in the lane directly next to me. And he's also pretty gunning it to get through the intersection because those things don't stop on a dime. As you know, 18-wheelers are huge and heavy, so they take a while. And he's seen me and he sees what I'm doing. Thank you, Lord, this guy had the sense to warn me because he realized what was going to happen. I mean, a lot of these truck drivers, I'm sorry to say it, they're pretty uneducated and stupid. And they wouldn't have even realized or put 2 and 2 together. But by God's mercy and grace, this guy realized here's, we're going pear-shaped fast. So he's hitting the horn to warn me. I didn't even turn around and look. I just instinctively knew there's a truck right behind me. He clearly can't stop. and I'm whizzing along, and as I'm gonna come out into the traffic lane, there's no space for me because there's a truck right up my you-know-what, right? And he also can't swerve because there's lots of cars in the lane next to him. So it's not like he can swerve to avoid me, but he also couldn't stop. And it all was happening and unraveling in just the blink of an eye. And in a split second, I kid you not, I didn't even remember hitting the brakes because I was going so fast that I thought to myself, if I hit the brakes, I'm actually going to slide. I'm going to lose control because there's also loose gravel on the sides of the road where, you know, if you really slam on brakes, you're gonna lose control and then potentially slip or slide underneath the truck. Oh yeah, you can imagine. I'll leave the gory imaginations to you. But it was so weird because as I like relive the moment in my mind, obviously the details are a little vague, but I can distinctly remember I must have reached out for my brakes. Now, you know, about a mountain bike, remember, has straight handlebars. And if you look at my shoulders, my handlebars probably stuck out about to there. So, you know, just past me on either side. And it's got those little pieces on the side. So my hands are, you know, here at the edge of the mountain bike like this. And I can remember my bicycle feeling like it hit a wall. I felt like I hit a wall. And I literally stopped dead from going flat out, and I don't know what speed I was doing, probably at least 40 kilometers per hour, which on a bicycle is pretty decent. And I was going from flat out to stopped dead, like I had hit a wall. And I don't remember, my bike didn't slide, it didn't take time, it was like instant. And as I stopped dead, this truck had now hit brakes, and I could hear him coming. And I could hear him, his tires were screeching because he'd slammed on brakes because he realized he's going to squish me between the barrier and himself. And whichever of his 18 wheels are going to squish me, you. And I just remember this funny sound as I watched this truck bunny hop past me. Literally, it was all so slow, and I was just frozen stiff in what felt like this little bubble. And this bunny hop, I could see those big tires. I mean, the tires on those trucks are so huge, and because I was on my bicycle and I'm quite small, my head was the height of these tires. I mean, these tires were my head height, and they were bunny hopping past me. And I can remember just standing there going, I was in numb shock. At that point, I just knew there's nothing I can do. This is beyond my control. And he stopped about halfway. Half of the length of the truck had gone past me before he managed to bring it to a halt. And I can remember just going, and then this little head popped out the driver's side, the passenger's side, and he turned and he looked back to see what had happened to me. Had they squished me? You know, where was I? What was happening? And he still motioned to me to say, okay, come, you know, go past. And I said to him, I can't go. There's no space. And in that split moment, I assessed everything. And it was the weirdest thing because the solid barrier was literally right next to me. I had stopped with my handlebars this far from the barrier on this side of me. And I quite literally turned my head like this, and I reached out a finger and I touched the truck tire, like here, okay, like here. Here, I'm touching the truck tire. This far from my other side of my handlebars, this far. And right in front of me, the barrier has now, you know, the truck is actually almost touching the barrier because the barrier has reached its cross point. And I realized there's no space. I can't actually get between the barrier and the truck. If I'd gone even another 30 centimeters forward, I would have been squished between the truck and the barrier. There was no more space. If I hadn't stopped exactly where I did on that dot, I would have been crushed between the truck and the barrier because of the momentum of the truck coming past me. So I still said to him, I can't go. There's no room. Go. So he relayed that to the driver, and the truck started going. And instinctively again, and I believe this was the Lord, that's why I say this was a miracle. In my opinion, this was a miracle. As I saw the truck start to pull forward, I realized that the back tires were coming a bit closer, and I turned to look. And the back of the truck, because of the way the truck had bunny hopped, the back of the truck had slightly jackknifed. And so the back wheels were actually in line with me. Okay, the back wheels were about to come past and crush me. And so he was driving very slowly with the passenger leaning out to see what they were doing. But at the same time, I can remember looking, and the truck's tires were coming closer and closer. And I literally had to lean my bicycle over like this to let the back of the truck come past without crushing me. And as the truck went past, I sat up and I went, whoa, whoa, like, it's just one of those weirdest moments you can't even express. I got on the bike and I cycled home. I was only 2 more minutes from home. I got home and then the adrenaline hit and I was like a shaking jelly and I was like, But I stopped and said, thank you, Lord. There's no doubt in my mind. That day, I was surrounded by a hedge of angels. There's no question. I mean, I'm a paramedic. I've attended, you name it. I don't know how many accidents and pedestrian accidents and bicycles and motorbikes and you name it. I'm telling you now that the way everything unfolded, the way that bicycle came to a dead stop, I swear an angel grabbed it and stopped it, because I don't think it was humanly possible. I've been a cyclist for a long time. I know the physics and the dynamics of it all. If I just look at the cocoon that was around me, in all directions, there was just no more space. It literally was like this perfect little shell. Anyway, I've got lots more stories like that, so feel free to come back for the next episode, hopefully slightly exciting. But let me know what you think. Was that just random coincidence and just nothing in particular special, or was that a miracle? Pretty interesting. Food for thought, right?